All right, have and have not fans, this video is going to be all about Jeffrey's anger. And the reason I'm doing a video on this is because if you think back to after Jeffrey stabbed his mom and he and Hannah talked in the hospital briefly about Hannah saying that that's your mom, so don't raise your hand to her again. But Hannah, you make a good point, but you really don't know every single thing that Jeffrey's been through. So I'm not saying that it's right for Jeffrey to kill his mom or stab her, but she had it coming. I think we can all agree. Now let's talk about the fact that she said you need to get help for your anger. And then we look back at the last episode where David asked Jeffrey about, hey, I heard you had a hand in killing Quincy Maxwell. And he said that I walked in, Candace was being attacked. The last thing I remember was grabbing a knife. I got really angry and then I was covered in blood. Now we know that before the haves and the have-nots, back when Jeffrey was in school, that there was this guy that constantly bullied him, and every time, David or whatever would ask if anything was wrong, Jeffrey said it was fine. Next thing you know, there's a baseball bat, and I believe that, what was it, like Jim or whatever. Next thing you know, Billy just kept hammering him with insults and jokes, and boom, next thing you know, Jeffrey beat him into a near coma, and then Veronica had to act as his attorney and prevented his parents from, the bully's parents from suing or, having Jeffrey detained or something like that. So even though Jeffrey got off the hook because of his mom, he never got the help he needed, because remember that his mom has been hammering down with emotional and mental abuse since he was a child in regards to his behavior, especially when it came to homosexuality, in terms of his, just his actions, his demeanor, and just the pressures of being a Harrington, matter of fact. And let's kind of look at all the times we've seen Jeffrey lash out in the series. And let me know in the comments if I miss out on anything, but in order of when they occurred, I believe the first time we saw him really, here's the thing. It really comes down to Jeffrey being backed into a corner and then him fighting back. And the first time is when Wyatt overpowered him. I believe it was the episode before the season finale in season 1, where he threatened to tell his parents he was gay by, taking Jeffrey's car keys and then taking his car. But then Jeffrey took, a golf club and knocked him out. Then we get to, let's see here. Again, I got to think, because this is way back. I think the next time was in season 3, where, Quincy was beating up on Jeffrey. And then he told Quincy where Candace was staying. Next thing you know, he takes a wine bottle when he turned around and popped him upside the head and then locked him out of the apartment. Then and to be fair, I mean, literally Jeffrey was getting beat down, so there really was nothing to do but to fight back. Then we go forward to let's see here. I think the next time after that is when he finally had enough of his mom and then stabbed her in the breast implant. And then, of course, I wouldn't say this was anger, but again, being back into a corner when that cop came in and got Quita and that other boy out of there and then attacked Wyatt. And then, no, actually, it was Justin. I'm sorry. It was Justin that came in there. The other cop, if I'm not mistaken, took Quita and the other, guy out of there. Jeffrey was being, he was pushed to the corner because Justin assumed that he and Wyatt were together. And then Jeffrey got the gun because Justin pulled the gun on Wyatt, but then Jeffrey fought him off, took the gun, aimed it at him. Then the other cop came in there. And of course, the fact that Jeffrey went in there and saved Candace's life by stabbing Quincy, near to death. So there are so many times where we've seen Jeffrey lash out, and not to mention there's so much. And again, it's only a matter of time before, Justin might end up pushing him too far, like, Veronica did. And next thing you know, he might actually try to attack him too, just like Justin attacked him initially. I mean, yeah, you can use the time that Jeffrey went over to Candace's house and then, wrestled Justin down to the ground. But that was really more of a self-defense tactic than, hey, I'm going to kill this guy. So there are plenty of times where Jeffrey has lashed out. So I guess the question is, who's the next person you think Jeffrey is going to, turn his anger on? Will he ever get the help he needs? Because, it's cool that he's trying to help Wyatt, in terms of here's the number, call rehab, get help, which I'm glad he did. But at the same time, with everything going on, Jeffrey isn't helping himself. If anything, there's just more and more stress being added to his plate instead of him trying to seek out the help that he needs. So with that being said, what do you think about that? Who do you think will be the next person to feel the wrath of Jeffrey? Do you think he'll ever get the help that he does need for his anger issues? And I don't know, but there's a lot to go down between now and the end of the series.